The XRP price is going up and there are institutions that are buying more XRP. The on-ramps are getting built, but the price is just appreciating in line with the rest of the market. XRP isn't outperforming. Is this potentially an opportunity? Let's have a look at the data most people are not considering. Now there are technical developments as in the XRP ledger is being made quantum resistant, and there is Coinbase launching its trade settlement tool for institutions. On top of that, we've got inflows through the 3x levered ETF of XRP. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I'm in crypto for the last 8 years. I started this YouTube channel 5 years ago, and 3 years ago I hit my first million. And I did this through active trading. My average outperformance over buying and holding Bitcoin is roughly 2% per month. That's then how that compounds over time, and that's then how that looks like with additional investments into the portfolio. Last year, I've opened a copy trading pool for the premium members that made money while Bitcoin lost. And this year, we've got another copy trading pool, again on its course to make roughly 40% per annum. And so in this video, I'm going to share again the approaches and the data that I look at to decide, should we buy a cryptocurrency, should we sell it? Let's have a look at XRP. This is the XRP price chart over the very long term. It appreciates, and that's where many people stop the analysis. But really, crypto is a game of opportunity costs. When everything is going up, does XRP outperform? When everything is going down, does XRP lose a little bit less? And so really, we should look not at XRP in US dollars, we should look at the price relative to the rest of the altcoin market. So this is now the XRP price divided by others. Others is the market cap of all the altcoins that are not in the top 10. And XRP unfortunately underperformed here. By how much? By 97%. Have a look at XRP relative to Bitcoin. Also a long-term underperformance. That's by roughly 50%. And over the last 4 years, we tended to trade in a range. Now there's something very interesting with this trading range. Have a look at how the price appreciates and how it depreciates. The appreciations tend to be much faster compared to the depreciations. And that hints towards something. When the price is going up that quickly, we tend to have one of two things. Either a news-driven rally, where simply a new reality gets priced in, or a short squeeze, when many people were betting potentially on falling prices of XRP, and then market makers bought up the supply and squeezed out all of those speculative short-term traders. The fundamental question is, how much upside is there for XRP? It's already at 88 billion. It's the 4th largest cryptocurrency. Yet its trading volume isn't really that high. 88 billion of market cap versus a 24-hour spot trading volume of only 43 million. That's nothing. As in, there's very little float. There's very little trading activity. There's a bit more on the perpetual futures. So that's 400 million. But still, 400 million of trading volume versus 88 billion of market cap. Really, it seems like the market cap gets generated with a very thin order book. Since there's more trading volume on the perps compared to the spot market, let's have a look at what those short-term traders are doing. The funding rate for XRP tended to be positive most of the time. So that means it costs money to bet on rising prices. There were more longs than shorts. There were more people that were betting on rising than on falling prices. But this has changed in the last 2 to 3 months. The funding rate is much more balanced now. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. There is a very strong correlation between the open interest, so the amount of bets on XRP, versus the XRP price. So when there's more bets on the price, then spot tends to go up as well. When there's less bets on the price, then the spot market tends to follow and it tends to go down as well. Trading volume is comparatively low, but again, there is positive correlation. The more attention there is on XRP, the higher the trading volume, the higher the spot price. Since there's very little activity recently, even with the positive technical development and even with the positive news, there's also been very few liquidations. Now, when we have a trend like this, when we tend to trend downwards and the appreciations happen very quickly, here is my personal approach, completely irrespective if that's XRP or another crypto asset. What I want to do is I want to bet on the general trend. And in case that trend breaks, it's probably going to break very violently. And so what we can do is we can simply set a stop loss, right? We can bet on falling prices of XRP. And if suddenly we get positive news again, if suddenly we get another short squeeze, we just exit the position very, very quickly without being positioned in the wrong direction. It's very hard to find the times when a quick rally like this happens. It's much easier to bet on the general momentum and then exit when the momentum turns around. And so given that, it probably makes sense to rather bet on falling XRP prices. And if now we suddenly rally, that's not a problem because we can set a stop loss. That's then where our risk, which in this case would be the price going up, versus our potential reward is worth it. And so let's try to figure out what kind of moving average combination we can potentially use to time XRP. I use this for various cryptocurrencies. The best combination is over here. It's the def cross of the 3-day and the 9-day simple moving average. That approach outperformed buying and holding XRP quite a bit over the years. That's then our strategy equity over time. And that's then how that looks like on a live chart, right? We are looking for a rally in XRP. And once we get the def cross, so the shorter term moving average crosses the longer term moving average, that's when we bet on falling prices. Unfortunately, currently there's so little volatility in the price, it probably doesn't make sense to open any position. But if we suddenly get another positive move in XRP again, and then we get the def cross, that's the perfect time to bet on falling prices. We have done the same recently. So at the beginning of the month with BitTensor, we had our rally, then the momentum died down, then we got the def cross, then we shorted BitTensor and made quite some money with it. And since XRP also moves in a trading range, that's probably the best approach as well. If we get a short-term move to the upside and then things slow down, then we go sideways for a while, then the best risk to reward is to enter a short at that point. Following that strategy, we've made more than 10% this year so far. If we annualize this, we get to 40%, hopefully the same result as we got last year. And if you're interested to join that automatic copy trading pool as well, here it is, also available to the annual premium members. Not to all of them, only to the ones that subscribe annually. At the beginning, you can simply just manually copy trade and see how that goes. And so that's my plan with XRP. XRP does not necessarily outperform Bitcoin long term. I rather bet on falling than on rising prices, but currently we aren't high enough to enter a short. Once we do, and once we get the def cross between the 3-day and the 9-day simple moving average, that's when I will enter a short. That's when I take advantage of the opportunity. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. See you next time. Cheers.